Hey guys, a very warm welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. You might be wondering, why am I not stood in my kitchen window? What's he doing out in the garden? Well, we've got a pretty reasonable day in the UK. I've been waiting for a bit of sun. So what am I doing out in the garden? That can only mean one thing. It's time for the barbecue. I think I picked that one up just a little bit, but anyway, what am I going to be cooking on a barbecue today? One of my favourite cuts, one of my favourite joints, and for me, you can't replicate the results from a barbecue what you try in a conventional cooker, let's say. I've got 1 kilo of Boston butt or pork shoulder, so we're going to slow cook that for about 3 to 3.5 hours, and then we're going to crank it up and get some lovely, beautiful crackling. I'm going to do some homemade stuffing, homemade apple sauce, which I'll do at a separate time, and add that to the channel. So let's get on and I'll show you my barbecue setup. So let's do it. Well, here is the joint in question. It is 1 kilo of pork shoulder, or in America I think it's called the Boston butt cut. All I've done to prep this, no heroics. 2 days ago I mixed 1 tablespoon sea salt or kosher salt with 1 tablespoon of brown or white granulated sugar, and I've had the meat scored. It's been slightly over scored there and gone down into the meat part. Just give it a good old mix, get it in the nooks and crannies and everything else, and leave that in the fridge for anything between 1, 2, 3 days. And what will happen is the moisture will be drawn out of the meat, especially the fat, and that will give us good crispy crackling. Now, it's really important that you remove this from the fridge at least 40 minutes before you plan to put it on the barbecue. So get it up to room, cover it, lightly cover it, bring it up to room temperature, and let's get it on the barbecue. Show you my barbecue setup. You need to slow cook this for anything between 3 to 4.5 hours, depending on the temperature of your barbecue and how low you run it. I'm now focusing on my temperature gauge. You need it no less than 100 Celsius and no more than 150 Celsius. So you kind of need to regulate your temperature in and around between that's 225 and no hotter than about 350 Fahrenheit. So let's just pop the lid up and show you what's going on. This is a 4-burner barbecue. The outside one is off, the center one is off, the third one is off. The only one on is the far right burner, and with that I've got a smoking box with hickory chips, real cheap buy off Amazon. It's no problem at all. Makes all the difference. So this is perfuming the joint as it's cooking. So yeah, all you need is 1 burner on. Save on your gas. You can keep your temperature regulated with just 1 burner, but if you do use more than 1 burner, just make sure you don't use the center burner where the joint is on. So I've got a rack sat on some water. The water will keep the joint nice and moist as it cooks away. I'm not going to keep this lid up for too long, I'll lose all my heat. What I will do is just check the temperature quickly just to see where we're at. This will be cooked, for me, I'll be happy at about 75. Don't be alarmed if your joint rises quickly the first hour or so. This is called the stall. It can rise between anything 30-40 degrees, but it'll stay at that, but don't be alarmed. This has been cooking now for 2 hours. We'll give it another hour, come back and check the temperature, and if it's past 65, 66, we'll then crank up the burners and then we'll get our crackling going. Pork has now been cooking for 3 hours 15 minutes. The internal temperature has reached around 70 degrees C, so that's good enough for me. I'm now turning the burners up to full, other than the middle one, because that's where the pork is, and we're going to get some crackling, so it's full furnace. So we've gone full burners on every burner bar the middle burner where the pork is sitting, and the temperature is sitting in around 230, 240 C. So that's pretty much where you want it to get your crackling. So let's have a look what's going on inside. And just look at that. Let's give it a little bit of a tap. Yeah, perfect. We'll now take this off the barbecue and let it rest for about 15 minutes and we'll pull it. Right, we're now done. The first thing to do is the big thing, is the crackling test. So here we go. Excuse me. Crackling of the gods is that. Absolutely perfect. So here is the board, some pulled pork, all that lovely crackling. Some more pork still to pull, probably for later on another day in a lunchbox. And here is the cob or roll, whatever you want to call it. Some beautiful pulled pork in it, some homemade applesauce, some homemade sage and onion stuffing. If you want me to put a recipe up for that and film it, let me know in the comments. See how you go. I'm gonna go and enjoy this pulled pork with sage and onion stuffing, applesauce and gorgeous crackling cob. So I did start out with a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of weather anxiety. There's no need to worry about that, and also a little bit of range anxiety when it comes to the gas bottle. I think I'm almost on empty and it will need change. Give this one a go. A little bit of windy. Give this one a go. Let me know how you get on in the comments. You can't go wrong with that lovely crispy crackling, that juicy pork. Get it in a cob or a roll or whatever you want to call it. Let me know how you get on. If you've already subscribed to the channel, let me know in the comments. Thank you for all the support, and then I can say thank you. If you haven't subscribed, click subscribe. Your support means everything to me. So on that note, I'm going to get steaming and say cheers. See you next time.